Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Ginge Pedro show. That was the most explosive intro yet. What do you think, Pedro, co-host?
Yeah, I thought you turned into a barbarian all of a sudden. Like, I don't know how to feel about that, but
I've been doing my
nice.
push-ups, buddy.
Yeah, dude, that was cool. That was very manly, I have to say. How
Did
are
I
you
get
doing, Jack?
everybody's attention?
Probably, I don't know.
No,
Probably you did.
you let her
Let's just
cringe you
say you
away.
did. Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Attention is scarce in this industry, as they say.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, buddy. So we got a big show, my friend. We got returning guest Michael Gatti. Hopefully, not mob ties with the last name there. I think we'll find out. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
ask. But no, we also we have something very special. I think we'll wait until about halfway through the show, if that's all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know,
Do
just to
this.
go ahead and drop that. Alrighty.
Mm-mm-mm.
So, without further ado, let's go ahead and ring him out. You know him. You love him. The one, the only, Michael Gatti.
Hello.
You are scaring me now, James. But that's good.
I'm feeling good,
That's
buddy.
good.
I'm excited.
Keep this energy.
I'll turn
Keep
it
this
down.
energy.
I'll turn it down.
No, don't,
Okay.
don't. Please don't.
It's
So how you
good.
doing,
Anyway,
man?
I'm well. I actually almost overslept, so I woke up and I was like, oh shoot, I have a show to get on today.
Ah!
all right.
So I was like, all right, just in the nick of time. I woke up. That's good.
That's
Nice.
great,
Well,
man.
third
Thank you for
shift,
joining
so
us, buddy.
it interferes with things like this.
Yeah, want to make a quick hello to everybody out there in TV land, out there with our regular viewers who hopefully should be showing up at any time, but also to the Madness. Anybody out there on the Madness
Oh, yeah.
Network? Also for the replay, yeah. Hello to our Madness friends. So
Hello.
Pops' network. Yeah, we're streaming to a bunch of different places, so very cool. All right, buddy. So, Mike, how you doing, man? It's been, like we said behind the scenes right before we got started, 2 or 3 months roughly since we last met. How's life?
Going pretty well. It's been a little crazy at work, or lack of crazy. We might be on the verge of layoffs. We'll see. But material shortage is hitting us hard. I work for a defense contractor, so you don't have microchips to work with. You have work, but no materials. It creates problems.
Yeah.
But things going pretty well, and with Earth's best friends, like I told you briefly on Twitter, I've changed my strategy a little bit. I have a crowdfunding campaign that's pretty much going to fail, but we'll see.
Oh, come on! Don't say that.
Pushing for it, but
yes, let's keep it light.
Going to do things here, so
okay.
I'm not afraid of that either way. So
all right. Well, that's honestly, it'll make for, if you'd like to talk about it, it would make for an interesting and honest discussion, really, and just in terms of like how to business. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. So, So where has Earth's Best Friends, aside from the campaign, where's the behind the scenes creative element gone since we last met? Have you been chipping away on anything further, or anything interesting to?
I've actually started in what I'm calling season 2, writing at least. As far as art goes, I've got still quite a bunch of stories to do to fill up for season 1. My gosh, my camera is not cooperating today. There we go.
Yeah, dude. There you go.
Ew, there you are. Hello, cool gamer. Very cool.
What's up, cool gamer?
Thank you for coming by.
And I'm pretty excited about what I'm calling book 4, which is for this current campaign. And there's a lot of different stories. Even though I call it all ages, there are a few darker elements to some of the stories in this anthology, especially season 2 when it comes around. It's kind of, I once described it as like a grow with me comic, and it does actually go pretty much from PG to PG-13 at some point in its life, especially as we get to different stories with different characters that kind of shift in the way they deal with enemies and stuff. Not that there's any like crazy violence, but the violence kind of gets turned up to PG-13 a little bit.
Right.
So
That's
it's like
cool.
it goes from being targeted at elementary school students to eventually more like middle high school.
Okay.
Right.
So is there like blood and?
I try not to have blood. Maybe like you'd see it on the face, like you would like Dragon Ball Z or something. But
gotcha.
I never show like heads exploding or anything like that.
No gore. No gore.
Right.
Still very like Marvel MCU PG-13, I guess when I say.
You could. There's a way to. I don't know if you considered it honestly, but there's a way you can really sort of maybe like brand that, like on, let's say, just like on the spine of the books. You know what I mean? Like people do like for graders. You know. First whatever, and then when you move into the more PG-13 books, just specify for middle schoolers and up, and you kind of like pair them with that sort of sales point almost, might be something.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's interesting, and that's why I call it an anthology, because it's it deals with different, even though they all take place in like the same universe or whatever, and they all cross over at some point too. Different superheroes are rated differently, and there's some characters that come around. One thing I call Sandra's Renegades already sounds a little more mature, just the title itself. And even from the beginning, I'm kind of teasing that, with the little story I call Family Problems. You kind of see it a little bit in those stories, like how mature that is compared to like Hyper Feline Ninja Heroes, which is definitely your Saturday morning cartoon for your younger kids,
Yeah, gotcha.
And so it's going to be very book 4. What I'm calling book 4 is going to be very interesting. It strays away from Hyper Feline Ninja Heroes a little bit, and it focuses a little more on the animal teens, focuses on some other characters and stuff. And then as we get closer to the finale of season 1 and season 2, it definitely gets interesting. So I'm very excited. There's so many stories to tell and so many things to do. So I just hope I can keep it up.
All right. Yeah. So could you sort of talk a little bit about the sort of the decision process you had when, was it natural as the characters kind of evolved, or were you, mentally pushing them towards that direction, or at some point you just realized, this is a little more mature? I mean, what was the process like there?
Earth's Best Friends, all the different like superhero factions, they've all been ideas I've had kind of separately for a long time. And then as I was creating the ideas that eventually became Earth's Best Friends, as I was creating storylines, I was like, how these ideas that I once had would kind of fit into this at this point. So it's kind of like, these have all been ideas culminating for a long time, and now I'm just kind of putting them together in one like series, I guess you could say. It's like Earth's Best Friends is the series, but every title is almost its own story within the series as well. Kind of like if Marvel were to, instead of having like Spider-Man, Thor, Iron Man, just call every single comic the Avengers, but then still have like the individual stories. That's kind of what I'm doing. It's like Earth's Best Friends presents Hyper Feline Ninja Heroes, and you see their story unfold, and then you see the animal teens unfold, which don't have anything to do with them until they cross over, and so on and so forth with every other story that I have in the collection.
Also, I'm assuming they all are on Earth, since they are Earth's best friends. Yes,
they are. Although there is going to be a story with a character that is in space as well. But yeah, for the most part, it all pretty much takes place on Earth, being the title of the series and everything.
Yeah, the title kind of says it, but
yeah, exactly. But I do have that one story but she's from Earth, and she comes back to Earth at some point to kind of defend it. And then there's, as things go on, there's alternate dimensions and stuff too. Not like a multiverse. I don't do like same characters from different universes kind of thing, like they do in the comics.
That's played out.
That would be madness.
Alternate dimensions where it's like alternate Earths, but not same characters in those alternate Earths. It's just an alternate dimension kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel. Sorry, I was just gonna say I'm not sure how I feel about multiverses and alternate universes at this point. I know it's like some of the greatest comic stories of all time. You know, like the original, George Perez, Marv Wolfman, Infinity Gauntlet stuff. That OG stuff that pretty much everything took its cues from. I don't blame them. Just like people sort of like dog on Frank Miller in terms of like once he did Sin City, like everybody now noir is wrote as if Frank Miller was writing it. You know what I mean? Everybody tries to do, and even though there was heavy narration beforehand, he really just popularized it, I guess, in the 90s. But I mean, obviously Sin City was huge, but everybody blames Frank Miller, but it's like, no, it's just the people trying to be like Frank Miller or whatever. But
it's like you can't help being a pioneer.
Right.
It'd be like blaming the Beatles for modern music, like everyone was trying to capture that lightning in a bottle. It's like you can't blame folks for trying to be the best, and you can't blame the folks that actually were the best for being the best.
Right, but I do feel sort of strange about multiverse stories at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I guess you could call it fatigue to a degree, but I don't know. I'm just not necessarily I am somewhat uninterested in them, but maybe there's some like emotional bias behind that. Like like fuck those guys. So I'm like putting that energy onto other multiverse stories, but I don't know.
Well, the problem with
therapy session.
With multiverse and time travel is once you open that can of worms, there's a big glaring plot hole that will always be there. And it's like, well, why don't they just go back in time and get that character back once they die, And that's, and the MCU has that problem right now. It's like they could easily, if they need any character at any given point, they could easily just go back in time and swoop him out of whatever timeline into their own for whatever reason, And they already kind of did that with characters they killed and brought and then continued to have alive. Like they did that with Gamora. She dies in Infinity War, and now there's an alternate Gamora floating around in the MCU. They did that with Loki. Loki dies, and now it's an alternate Loki that's in the Loki TV show. Spoiler alert, I guess. But
no, I only tried like an episode and a half of that show. I don't know. I actually liked the black and white stuff of WandaVerse, but that's just because I like black and white television. After that came out, I watched me and my girlfriend spent like a couple days and watched like the first 30 episodes of I Love Lucy. Shigs.
Nice.
But when it changed
I Love
into
Lucy is
sort
awesome,
of the,
man.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's fun. We watched the Addams Family too, the old black and white Addams Family. I mean, is it the same kind of bit over and over, roughly? At the start, yes, but they do sort of get their footing as the show progresses. So, I like old school stuff.
It starts in New York and then eventually in Connecticut in like the later seasons, so the formula does change a little bit with them.
Yeah, I like it.
You know what I really miss about all those shows? And this is completely off topic, but it's just like you started it. The music, the like the big band music from I Love Lucy and and dude, like that kind of music is gone now. Like you see shows and it's dude.
They don't even a lot of times they don't even have music in the intros in modern sitcoms. Like I think about like The Middle or Modern Family. Neither one of those sitcoms have an intro that's with music,
there's no iconic music.
It's probably expensive. I mean, I'm not defending it because I'm hearing that right, just like something silly, like just a little band piece. What is that from? Oh yeah, Mr. Sandman.
No, I don't know. That's what I thought of when you started doing that.
That's Spy versus Spy, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
No, I was thinking of a different song.
Yeah, I agree though. Definitely, it's probably just a cutting corner thing to save money, which definitely you can't. I wouldn't defend that. I mean, it is part of the art. And like, dude, Family Ties. That's a great theme song. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah, dude.
that just popped in my. Yeah, theme songs used to be legit. Actually, me and my girlfriend spend a lot of time just listening to anime theme songs.
Oh yeah, anyway.
Yu Hakusho. That'll theme.
Oh yeah,
good stuff.
I mean, I even like the American Dragon Ball Z intro. Dragon, rock the Dragon Ball Z. Dude, not really an anime intro because it's the English version, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah, dude.
Man.
All anime intros in Latin America are recorded in Chile by one guy called Captain Memo. And that guy is a freaking star. Like, he'll go everywhere and do like concerts, and he'll like project the intros of like 80s anime. And I recorded this song. And it's like, dude, like Grandizer, and he's like sings the song. It's very weeby, but dude, like it's funny. It's funny. Like and he recorded Dragon Ball song, which is completely different from what you guys got.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, it's just fun.
How does it stack up, Pedro? How do you like it, or is it completely ridiculous, or is it at least kind of rock?
Musically, I'll have to say it's shit. It stinks, and I don't like it. But
it stinks, and it doesn't like it.
Yeah, but people love it, and they go to the concerts, and it's like, oh, Memo's coming to town. It's like, oh, that guy again.
I mean, it was very appeal to American audience, the intro to Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
They did that. It was a good choice because in those days when Dragon Ball Z first came to TV, I mean, that was the anime that got anime to be watched in the States, essentially.
Yeah. Right.
So they made a good choice with that because I think it would have probably turned off viewers to have more anime intro at the time, at least.
Yeah, the things like the intros of anime in the 80s, they were backed by the Japanese music industry. So the song had nothing to do with the anime itself. It's just like, okay, we want to push this song, so put it on your show. So it's a girl talking about like his boyfriend leaving her, and you see like heads exploding and intestines like flowing everywhere. But it didn't matter. Like, for example, the song for Bubblegum Crisis, it's a love song.
Yeah.
But Bubblegum Crisis is very bloody and kind of like sexualized and whatnot. But yeah, dude.
And the lyrics, they're always like these sort of flowery things about eternal love.
Yeah, and they always have the English words in the middle of the song. It makes you appreciate that parody from South Park, "Protect My Balls."
Yeah.
Hey, let's go, Kikasu.
Yeah. The anime episode. That was a brilliant episode. That
is an awesome episode. Still one of the best to this day, I think.
Right. Yeah. Poor Butters loses an eye.
Oh, Butters. Yeah. Butters goes to the ringer in that episode. Woof woof, woof woof. Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. So, Mike, let me pull up one of your websites here, buddy. I have your main website, so let's take a look at that first.
Yeah. So
let's see what all you're offering.
I've got a new domain name.
Nice.
It's not earthsbestfriends.co anymore. It's earthsbestentertainment.com. It's a lot easier to remember because I don't have to be like, it's .co, not .com. But now it's earthsbestentertainment.com. I changed up my website a little bit to kind of reflect the new things. And so now I am kind of going episodic on Amazon.
Nice.
I was planning to just kind of keep on going with the anthology thing, but digitally, I figured it actually would be pretty cool to release a couple different like stories a month, and keep on doing that on Amazon. And
all right, yes.
How is the Amazon environment treating you?
So far I've got one 5-star review, and
nice.
I just started on the first.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the first or second. I think I published it, and so I've got one 5-star review, and I've got a couple sales. So it's pretty good. Digitally.
All right.
It's pretty easy to release digitally. They, for whatever reason, will not allow me to make a physical copy. Every single time I fix my PDF, they tell me it's not fixed. So
God damn it.
They have very crazy standards for how the PDF has to look. Technically, they're not really made for comic books, so that's part of the problem too. Is that the PDF is full of images, not really text. And they're like, you can fix the text. And it's like, I can't fix the text. It's an image.
Yeah.
So
interesting. That's okay. Because that was definitely. So what's the process like when you sign up? Do you have to create a specialty Amazon account or something like that, or
so
publish on there?
It's an extension of your regular Amazon account. It's called KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing. So basically, you'll go to kdp.amazon.com, I think it is, and then it'll have you sign into your Amazon account, and then from there you basically just have your, like pretty much any other print-on-demand website. You have your own, you have your create a book, all the different things that you need to do, and so there's my 3 things on Amazon right now. So I have the full volume 1 with it, which is the entire anthology, and then those 2. All
right.
Earth's Best Friends, I originally called them Essentials, but now I'm just calling them Animal Teens and Hyperfeline Ninja Heroes. Those are 2 stories each from those titles. So you'll get those 4 stories in the volume 1, but it's kind of like, well, if you don't want to spend an entire $8 on my book, you could just get like a taste of what it's like from one of these and then buy the whole thing.
But dude, $8 just like a Twitter checkmark, dude. $8 is just like Twitter's checkmark, so that's a great price.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sales pitch.
Yeah.
And distribution-wise, I mean, obviously they have a large audience. I mean, you still have to kind of push it on Amazon or on social media, but I mean, I barely pushed it, and I got that one sale already, so that's pretty
awesome,
exciting. Yeah. And
so what? Sorry, no, I was just gonna ask. What is your how do you market through Amazon or through social media? Like, what are your marketing tools?
Basically, mostly Twitter and Facebook. I'll basically just on Facebook, I'll pop in all the indie comics groups, say, hey, here's my thing, and Twitter it'll basically just be writers lists. I'll do writers lists, or I'll jump on the writers list, say, hey, here's my thing. And
very cool.
Yeah.
So $7.99 is for volume 1, the page count on that one.
That should be about 165 pages, I want to say.
Oh, awesome, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of pages. It's 115 of story, and then there's some extra artwork and covers and advertisements for other books as well and stuff in it. So it's a complete package. Whereas the other 2 are basically just 2 stories from Animal Teens, 2 stories from Hyperfeline Ninja Heroes. All 4 of those available in volume 1. But it's kind of like, hey, if you just want to taste, what's $2 if you want to give it a try versus $8, And then for a physical copy, and I'm doing digital. I'm kind of not fully switching to digital because I love print, and also people love to buy print at cons, but it's expensive to print. I actually recently cut down my page count on that volume 1, and it cost me $1 more to print because the price went up. So if I kept it at 180, what I had before, it probably wouldn't have gone up a few bucks, and it's already a $40 book to print, including shipping and everything. So it's just, I always try to price the way I am as a consumer, and it's like, I very rarely think I could spend $25 on a book I've never heard of, And so I hate that I have to charge $25 for my volume because it's a hard sell, But it is a premium product. I mean, it's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful looking book. Let's see if I can.
Yes. Please.
I mean, I don't know if you can see that well, but
look at that.
beautiful.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Premium product,
Nice.
glossy inside. I mean, yeah, it's got some heft to it too. Although this is the older version.
Yeah.
80 pages.
It's a fat book with a PH, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Very nice. Yeah, that's legit, bro.
It's definitely worth $25. It's just a tough sell as an indie who people don't really know and don't really know the product or anything. But we'll see. I'm actually doing a signing at a local geek store. They call it, the store's called Geekster, and I'm going to be doing an author signing there. So hopefully I'll be able to sell some books there. And so it's pretty exciting. But
absolutely, yeah, just getting those beautiful floppies out there, front and center, or graphic novels, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, it's a respectable page count and a beautiful production. So very nice, bro. I hope you make some good sales.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And
all right,
yes.
Yep. No, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just So basically the cost of printing is why I'm kind of switching to a little more of an aggressive digital market. But I did find a printer. I'm trying to figure out what their quality is. I'm waiting for them to send me a proof. But I found a better printer, Lulu, that is cheaper. I just want to see how their print quality is first. And I trusted Lulu in the past when I was doing books, not graphic novels. And they had pretty good print quality, so I'm hoping that their comic books are too. And I'm actually switching to the floppy method. I originally said I didn't want to do floppies because I felt like in the long run it's kind of expensive to bring five copies of 5 books rather than 15 copies of one.
Yeah, exactly.
But when I went to my last convention, I actually learned that having only one product on the table kind of makes people overlook you a little bit. So these two stories, Earth's Best Friends and Hyperfeeling Ninja Heroes, I'm actually turning them into floppies. And if the print quality is good, I might try the volume 1 as well. I still think I need to get the page count down a little bit, just because it's really expensive to print that big book right now.
But you're trying different things. You're keeping keeping nimble with it. So, dude, awesome. I like it a lot. Yeah. So yeah, dude, like your convention experience. So can you go a little bit over on why your table could be overlooked? Because this is an awesome point. And for everybody who wants to have like a table at a convention, might want to know, like, okay, how do you attract people? How do you attract traffic to your table?
Yeah, it's well, that's a question I'm still trying to find the answer to, honestly. But I've been to a few conventions now, and in the past, so before I had that volume 1, I had book 1 and book 2, which is why I'm at book 4 now, because my last campaign was book 3, and then it just turned into volume 1, which is book 1, 2, and 3 all put together. But because in my mind, I was like, well, it would be less confusing to people if I just had the one volume, where that way I'm not, all right, well, this is book 1, this is book 2, but what I found out was I sold more books when it was book 1 and book 2 rather than when it was volume 1,
2, and 3.
I think it's, and I've been told by guys, and I kind of believe it, that having more products kind of makes you seem more legit.
Yeah.
And
I suppose.
Yeah, because having one 160 something page book doesn't look the same in the shelf as having 3 books.
Yes, exactly.
People like that visual. So yeah, dude, that's
and that's when I had the 2 books, it felt like they were flying off the table like hotcakes at the same convention too. This year. Last year I had the 2 books. This year I had the 1. Mind you, I think part of my problem this year also was I happened to be set up next to the Southern New Hampshire University gaming table, and they were having people play Smash Brothers. So that kind of had people overlooking me too. And then
these fucking nerds.
Guy. So like people were like going to my neighbors because they had really cool stuff, and then here's me in the middle, like, who the heck are you? You know?
Wow.
Interesting, though. I mean, yeah, it's a tight squeeze right there next to a bunch of people that might not really give a shit about what it is you're even about in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been to a convention as a creator, and I've just been to a handful, nothing big. Our town used to do one called Creative Con. I live in Panama City, Florida. We used to have one called Creative Con. I think really the biggest draw we had some pretty decent artists, none that I can really remember. I know I don't have it anymore, but I got a really sweet Punisher print off of some guy. But really the biggest draw we had was a TARDIS. Like a screen used TARDIS came to town, and you could take pictures.
Dude, the TARDIS is a telephone booth.
The con just shut down. They had a hard time and had to keep switching spots, and just ultimately, This was like, I think 2018 was or maybe 17 might have been the last. It's been a minute. Yeah, I'd maybe like to do a con myself, honestly. But it's a lot of work. I mean, it goes without saying, but there's just a lot of the, like, I don't know. There's just stuff about it that I'm not too keen on necessarily, but I don't know. We'll see. Who knows?
Yeah. So you got to find the sponsors. You got to find the folks that are like, you got to find the folks with notoriety, at least even on a local level. And then you have to find the right place to do it. You know, almost like if you ever seen the movie about Woodstock, you know, it's like you got to find the right location, you got to find the right bands, and get everybody signed on and stuff.
Yeah, it's I mean, that's absolutely true. Yeah, shout out to Mighty Mascots is over here on my wall. I moved it to make room for Spells and Superheroes. Not to be rude, but anyways.
No,
but
it is a bit rude, but hey.
Well, I don't mean it to be rude, and it's still over there on the wall, beautiful as that. But no, Keith, really great guy, and he led us Spells and Superheroes, so there's some connection there. Still counts.
Oh yeah,
but no,
I had him on the show a while ago.
Yeah,
and it turns out he's from Massachusetts. He doesn't live. I mean, he lives like maybe a couple hours away from me. It's kind of cool.
Nice, very nice. Yeah. You should hop into Plastic City Comic Con. I think that's his. He does a convention. I think it's called Plastic City or something. Yeah, he'd be the guy to talk to. He's got a couple YouTube videos, like a series on how to do a convention. So, nice to have that type of experience to sort of get in their ear.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think he's
sounds odd.
In alternate comics, or is in alternate comics.
Yeah,
I can't remember which one he said.
Yeah. Mighty Mascots.
Yeah.
Alterna.
Yeah, I love it.
Good stuff. Yeah, we've actually got a couple other books to show off today. But I don't know, Pedro, when did you want to do this, buddy?
I don't know. It's up to the guest. Like it's his time, right? So
absolutely. I guess we'll wait to the end of the show, Mike. Unless would you like to join us? I mean, what do you want to wait for the end of the show, Pedro? Or what do you want to do?
Is a question for me or for Mike?
Let's see, what time is it now? Because I'm an hour ahead of you guys. Yeah, I've got probably
time. No. Okay, that's all good. All right, so let's hop over to your Indiegogo page. Let's talk. Sort of,
talk Indiegogo. This is my first Indiegogo. It's a much different animal than Kickstarter. I've learned now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you live and learn. My first Kickstarter wasn't successful either, so it's fine. So think it's got like
actually,
a week to go. I think it's got about a week to go. And yeah, I think I've got like 115 raised out of 500.
Alrighty. I mean, honestly, is this your first? Yeah, is this the first 30 days?
Yeah, it is. I probably won't extend it because I want to try again at a later date with better planning and stuff. Because I kind of just spurred the moment. Poof, made this campaign.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, honestly,
the first 30 days, it's not that bad, actually.
Yeah, and it could still even. Yeah, I understand wanting to, put it out in a better format. Sure, but
yeah.
I mean, all in all, I wouldn't have called it a day just yet. I don't hear the fat lady singing yet.
Yeah. But
okay, so yeah, could you? I've got a quick question. Could you talk a little bit about the Kickstarter differences between just what you've learned? Like, what's it like in your experience? Indiegogo versus Kickstarter.
So it feels like Indiegogo markets to a completely different crowd. I'm not saying a kid's book couldn't be raised on Indiegogo because I'm pretty sure it's happened, but it feels like Kickstarter was way easier to appeal to people with. I think it's a little more well known as far as like getting people that don't know comics or crowdfunding at all to go to. It's like, oh, I've heard of Kickstarter. There's still like people. There still is one supporter of mine that is always like, hey, put me down for one, but I don't know how to actually do the Kickstarter thing myself. So basically what I do is I make a second account and put the money in for him, and then he pays me back.
Right on.
But, yeah.
Doing what it takes, man. I feel that.
But I think that's one of the bigger differences is Kickstarter is a little well known. So to get the people that are like, friends and family that don't know anything about, crowdfunding or even social media for that matter, it's easier to sell them on Kickstarter than it is Indiegogo. And Kickstarter, I think it also helped me when I was doing Kickstarter. Like, you will not be charged until the campaign is successful. With Indiegogo, it's like you're going to be charged right away. And that's one of my problems with Indiegogo, even as a consumer, is half the time I can't commit to a campaign while it's going because it's like, well, I don't get paid for 2 weeks and it's going to be over in 2 weeks and I get charged right away and I can't afford it right now. Kickstarter, it's like, all right, will I be able to afford it December 2nd when the campaign charges me? Yes, I can. Yeah.
It might be. I was just going to say, sorry. What might be an interesting addition to either one of these websites or to somebody else's website is like the ability to tick that feature on and off, because that's kind of my critique with Kickstarter. Personally, it's like I'd rather just get it done and over with. You know what I mean? I don't like the idea of something charging me later. Like you could just say, well, remember,
like a sword hanging over you. Yeah, like a sword hanging over you.
Maybe that would be an interesting thing, though. Just to have like, be able to have both
that option, because then you could at least say, it's like, hey, just charge me now, or hey, I can't afford it. Wait, I'm going to wait till the campaign's successful or whatever.
Right.
Give the consumer the choice of which one they prefer.
All righty. Somebody send that to somebody doing something.
Anybody knows anybody, or if anybody is out there making their own crowdfunding campaign, or platform, because apparently that's a thing now too. People are kind of feeling like Kickstarter and Indiegogo are going to be a thing of the past, or at least for the comics industry, are going to start being a thing of the past a little bit. I guess there's problems with Indiegogo this past for some creators, and that's kind of led at least folks in my little circle to try to create their own platform. Shout out to Luke Stone.
Oh yeah,
right.
Dude.
Yep.
Yeah, Lucas doing an amazing job. But he had a couple of hiccups, but yeah, he'll be back on the saddle now. And yeah, that's the thing. Like the thing that you're going on Amazon, you're doing Indiegogo, Kickstarter. Like we gotta be diversified. We gotta keep on our toes. we are not on the business of making money for Kickstarter or Indiegogo. We're in the business of making comics.
Right.
And in this endeavor, we need to, just project and reach people any way we can, and get it in as many hands as possible. So, dude, you're doing the right thing right now.
Yeah, it's what was I gonna say? It's
sorry, buddy.
It's the way. So anyway, back to the differences for a second. Kickstarter, also the way you can customize, like getting all this together was a little bit more difficult for me than it was with Kickstarter. Somehow I reached the end of the page and it wouldn't let me add anything else below. And for probably a couple of days, I couldn't figure out. And so for like a good week of my campaign, I only had 2 pictures up because I was like, it's not letting me add any more pictures. So I finally figured out that somehow I reached the end of the page, and as long as I was putting stuff in the middle, it would let me add more. So that's how I got more. But Kickstarter is just like you put it in, you add, you continue. It's like a bottomless pit, no like edge of the page that you hit, So I didn't understand that when I was like, what the heck is going on here? People are like, you need to put 4 pages in. I'm like, how? Because it didn't let me, And
all right,
very cool.
Yeah. So one thing I do like, and that's probably the reason why I went to Indiegogo or gave Indiegogo a chance, was I like the idea of the in demand. One of the main reasons I just picked 500 was basically like, well, I've raised $500 before, so I know I can do it again. Little did I know at the time, with being a different animal and everything, but raised 500 before. If I could raise 500 and get in demand, that would be what I want to do.
Yeah. And the in-demand store, like, okay, in my experience, we made like $1,200 more after the campaign ended. And dude, like, I for one, I'm a complete unknown. Like, Tropical Magic is not my first comic. My first comic would be RT Bear's Black and White High Octane, but that book is coming out with RT Bear's Man vs. Machine, which is out like next year. So this is technically my first book, and I mean, we funded, we put the goal at 3K, and we reached it and we surpassed it.
Wow!
But in demand, we made like $1,000 more.
Yeah.
And I didn't campaign that much during the in demand. Like, I should have strived for more, but I was scared because I could only print like a limited amount of books.
Sure.
So that's the thing. But dude, like, since you already have stock, because I mean, you're showing me you have stock of books. Like, it's a completely different animal. If you get like $500, you go in demand, and this becomes basically your virtual store for a while.
Exactly, and that was the idea. It was like, it would probably be an easier sell for folks, especially on Twitter, because it feels like more folks on Twitter are for Indiegogo than they are on Facebook. Which is weird in general. Just even different social media platforms prefer different things. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's interesting. Sounds about right, though. Honestly.
Yeah. Right.
Described. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll see way more Kickstarter campaigns being promoted on Facebook, and you'll see Kickstarter on Twitter. Don't get me wrong, but you'll see way more Indiegogo.
Yeah. The Indiegogo is Twitter town. I don't know, for some reason. Most of the people mostly the people more so than the platform. The people who promote comics in Indiegogo are basically on Twitter. So
exactly. And that's what I figured. I was like, well, I mean, I am mostly on Twitter anyway, so I figured I'd make the switch. But it was I think my biggest flaw with this campaign was that I just rushed it. I just kind of Yeah, way less comic traffic on Facebook. I agree with that.
Can I ask Neostar? Is it do you see more Kickstarter or Indiegogo stuff when you do get traffic? Let's investigate further. What do you say, gang? Somebody want to be Scooby Doo? I'll be Scooby, I guess.
Scooby Doo. Oh my God. The last Scooby Doo I saw was Born. So no, let's not play Scooby Doo.
Okay, definitely not then.
Yeah.
Don't want any flashbacks.
No. Oh,
okay.
Wrong video.
I thought that last movie Scoob was pretty good. It had some good nice moments to it. It had some nice animation. And you could tell they were trying to do a multiverse, or not a multiverse, but like a cinematic universe kind of thing. And unfortunately, I don't think Scoob did well enough for that to pan out. But I would have enjoyed like a Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe. That would have been pretty cool. Like,
yeah, dude. The whole
mix with Scooby-Doo, you know?
Yeah. The whole Hanna-Barbera universe, like that was already done because you have like Jabberjaw, Quick Draw McGraw, like
it'd be cool
all those characters. That would be fine. Lots of fun.
But fortunately, I don't think that movie did as well as they expected.
Yeah.
And you could tell.
I saw Scoob.
Yeah.
I saw Scoob and I liked it. Yeah, it had a Blue Falcon and Dynamite.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. Yeah, and the animation was fun. Yeah, no. Did you guys see? This was a kind of a surprising hit movie for me this year. It was the Chippendale Rescue Rangers, the live action one they did on Disney Plus. Okay.
I'm getting sick of Disney live action movies, though. Of their their animated like sector.
Here's what I'll say. Here, because I also tried the Tom and Jerry movie, and that movie was it was awful. It just made no sense right out the gate. So I was going to come into the Chip and Dale movie hating it, but honestly, dude, that's like one of the best movies I've seen in a really long time. It's very much, Mike, bro, it's very much a movie you would double over in real laughter, while at the same time you could watch it with your kids. Like, there's so many like jokes that would just fly right over a kid's head. That like, so one of my favorite bands of all time is Lamb of God, and it's just this death metal band, right? And I forget which one of the Chipmunks it is, but like at some point in the movie, they split up. Like, it's early on, they split up from basically the show gets canceled. One of them gets more famous. The other one goes and works like an office job, and the one that's walking home from the office job, like. He's just got like AirPods in, right? And he gets home and like he takes them out, and he takes one AirPod out and it's playing Lamb of God, like laid to rest. Nice. And when I saw that, I was sitting on the couch, I would have done the spit take. I was like, what? I couldn't fucking believe it, dude. And there was like they made fun of Ugly Sonic, like the original Sonic model, like they made fun of it in a very, dude. I was completely blown away by that movie, so I would definitely recommend it over Neo says a good. Thankfully, it wasn't a live action remake of Chip and Dale. It was more like it was definitely a movie in the Roger Rabbit. Yeah, it's a little more tame than that for sure, but I mean, you can definitely get down with that one. Great movie. Okay, cool. Whew. Got my rant out.
That was a nice parenthesis. Yeah, I like it.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah. Okay, very nice. So, Mike, let me ask you, buddy, are you for sure redoing this Indiegogo? Because I just got to throw this out there. Since you technically have 40 days left, and you're of course do what you like, but you're not. I don't think you're like Again, I don't hear the fat lady singing by any means. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I'll put it this way, I'm still going to put my energy into it. It's not like I'm going to give up on it. But if it fails, I'm not going to be disappointed or anything like that. I'm just going to be like, it's time to reevaluate, restructure, and try again,
Yeah, dude. But still, like, this is round 1 right now. 10 days left on the first 30. Dude, you're good. You're good. Just get on shows, promote the heck out of it, this is an all ages book, so focus on that. Do little snippets on Twitter, because dude, Indiegogo is Twitter country. So dude, focus on Twitter, promote. Now with Daddy Musk, you can pay your $8 and you're.
Are you guys gonna do that? By the way, I'm curious.
No, I'm not.
Is anybody gonna pay for their check mark? No.
I never needed it, and I don't need it now. So screw
that. I don't trust folks with check mark accounts. I tend to block them. If I see a check mark, I usually block them.
I'm curious what the business elements of it might be, because as it stands right now, I'm with Mike on that one. It's like, if you're a blue, I almost feel like getting a blue check mark right now, or like before Elon, would be like, you might get looked at funny, like, really? Okay. And if you have one, great. Who cares, really? But, if there's, because here's a little bit of what I understand, and this is, I haven't done a whole lot of research on it, but I could almost see Elon Musk. He said something about using the money to try to fund a creator monetization system in a more like structured way. I could almost see him playing Twitter like a mixture, because they've got the Substack element where you can be a super follower, and if you can try to incorporate some element of like, maybe a YouTube monetization competitor or something like that. Because they're trying to start. They've got streaming on there now. They're doing live streaming. I would just try to pull the best parts of what everybody else is doing, and see how we could make Twitter the spot for. I think he has a mind for like smaller people, right? Or I don't know.
He's gonna revive Vine, man. Like the thing is, like, I'm not excited. Like I don't believe in idols anymore. I'm from Latin America, so I'm used to disappointment and suffering. So I'm not keeping my hopes up. But dude, he's talking about reviving Vine, and that's a direct competitor to TikTok. Like Twitter killed Vine a couple of years back, and then TikTok took over. So he wants to revive Vine. So now video is going to be an intrinsic part of Twitter. He's talking about separating Twitter into different areas. So maybe a Twitter YouTube is in the works. Like, I don't know. This guy has big plans. He has a huge melon nerd head. And I wouldn't put it past him that he wants to eat everybody by storm. He wants to make like the super app, like Weibo or whatever it's called in China.
He wants to make the ultimate AI.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're all gonna be like, "Yes, Master Elon." Like, I don't know.
Well, it all started when he did like a poll. It was like, "Hey, would it be cool if I made my own social media network?"
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? I'm just going to buy Twitter instead.
Yeah.
I like it. It's been fun to watch the shenanigans take. Well, it is. The air is a little bit different. Like, you can just watch people losing their mind in a different kind of way, where you're like, this is kind of hilarious, really.
It's weird.
Yeah. Lovely.
But
all right, so
I hope he has big plans for it. He's spending billions of dollars on it, putting himself in some pretty nasty debt for it too. I mean, obviously he's good for it, but still, it's like, could you imagine being that rich and that much in debt as well?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't want his life.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I wonder if like all of his assets entirely equal up, like let's say if he did go under, it's like, okay, we have to take everything from you, literally every last dollar, and then you're good. Like, I wonder, like, what's Elon credit? Like, how do they decide how much credit he's gonna get or not? But because like, if it did go under, he'd probably not ever make enough money, to like, maybe he could, I don't know, but
probably
a lot of
not.
money.
I mean, from what I understand, he's quite a bit short to buy Twitter. It's basically a lot of, the banks are willing to lend to him, obviously, because he's so successful. So it's basically kind of like the way the American dollar works. It's basically just the faith in him that they're lending him based on just how successful he's been in the past. It's like, well, you have a great track record of turning nothing into billions. So we'll lend you $50 billion, whatever the hell it is that he wanted to buy Twitter with.
Right. By the sweat of Elon's brow. That's the credits. Yeah. Well, Yeah, I mean, I think it could be a good thing. I mean, I think it will be a good thing largely, but in terms of like what can it do for us small, creators, I guess remains to be seen. But I think
Yeah.
it's better than the stagnation, or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike.
It
So
probably wouldn't change much for us as creators, at least too much, but just the platform in general would have a better environment, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I mean, the air is already less rarefied right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a guy of making like like hot takes or whatever. Like I don't do that. So I've never been suspended on that platform. But that fear of saying whatever and somebody getting like insulted, I don't know. I'm not feeling it anymore. And maybe it's a delusion on my part, and I could be suspended if I say something stupid. But I don't know. I'm not feeling it right now. So
yeah,
for that, hats off, Mr. Musk or whatever.
Well, I know it can happen anytime, anywhere. I earned what I call my indie creator black belt by. I actually got attacked by a Marvel comic creator a month back or so.
Well done.
I was talking to an indie creator, just a fellow indie creator, because he had posted a picture of this Spider-Man with crutches, and I'm like, are those tonfas? Because they look like those, weapons.
Nice, yeah.
Right? And he's like, oh, they're crutches. And I'm like, well, that's a weird choice, right? Like just logically, it doesn't make sense for Spider-Man to be in crutches because the superpowers made it so he doesn't need glasses anymore. So why would he need crutches? Yeah. Like it's fine if Peter Parker started off handicapped and then he gets bit by the spider and it kills him, right? But it just doesn't make sense. Spider-Man's shooting webs through crutches, So, and I wasn't ragging on it. I was just like, I don't get it.
Put Ghost Rider in a wheelchair next.
Well, what I didn't realize was the entire time we were having this Twitter conversation, he had the creator tagged in the conversation.
Oh, nice.
So then she chimes in and attacks me and calls me a bigot. And I'm like, yo, what is that? Like, I didn't say any of those things that you're accusing me of. I'm just saying that it's a weird choice. Like, sorry, like that's my opinion. Whatever, I love Spider-Man. I'm like, hey, I hope your book succeeds, but it's weird to me. I don't get it. It's not. I'm not in your fan base. Sorry.
Yeah, where is the badge, man? Where is the badge?
Yeah, that's it makes no sense. Absolutely. I mean, not that comic books are known for necessarily making sense, but that one's like, I mean, you pretty much nailed it.
Yeah,
Okay, bud.
Just from a standpoint, like I guess if it were like, and obviously it was a Spider-Verse story, so it was from an alternate Spider-Man, which is fine, but if I were to create a handicapped Spider-Man, I think I would have changed his powers too, Yeah. I probably would have made them a little more psychic based, like Madam Web or something, like make a Spider-Man mixed with Madam Web or something. Like just because if you want to have the handicapped as one of the characteristics of the character, it just makes no sense for him to be handicapped as a superhero, superpowered being, because the whole point of superpowers is to not have the flaws of even just being a normal human being, not to mention a handicapped human being, so that's just how I think about it. Not even that I'm ragging on it, because it's like, whatever, I hope it's successful because I want more Spider-Man books to be available. It's like, I mean, if you could come at it with an interesting angle, sure, you go for it. But
absolutely, right. I'm not a big Spider-Verse fan. I think that's like one of the biggest tragedies of comic books. Not necessarily, from a writing perspective, but not like from a story, like emotional. Just as it stands, they took one of the greatest characters of all time and completely blew his asshole out, and now you can just do whatever the fuck you want with him. And I think that's about as dumb as you could be with it.
It's like the beginning of the show we talked about. Once you open that can of worms, it's just a blaring plot hole that will always exist. And it's like, well, why doesn't Spider-Man just summon the other spider universes to take down this foe? You know, there's always going to be that problem now that it's there. You know, but
okay, but so to cut you off here. Sorry, buddy.
cool.
I'm getting the call on my end over here. Okay, so no, it is time to end the show. We got Brian from Six Gun Gorilla, and he's got a show.
Yeah,
we're on a network schedule now, so we got a boss in the back.
We're going places. Now we have a boss.
Yeah, I'm digging it though. But Mike, thank you for joining us, bro. Again, second time around, and you're always welcome to come back again. You know.
The book looks awesome, man. Just keep at it, dude, and you're gonna make it. Like, don't this pessimistic thing. Like, I'm gonna do it again, dude. You're gonna make this. Just keep at it, keep promoting, and dude, get that in demand store.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So before we go though, I know Pops is gonna want to wring my little freckled neck here, but we do have one thing we wanted to kick off, and Mike, we're happy to have you here while we do so. It is let me pull it right on up. Okay. All right, gang. So all right, everybody. Okay. So this was our special announcement for the episode. Pedro and I were launching the pre-launch sign up. We're doing a month pre-launch sign up. So this is a call to any shows that, we're going to be hitting the ground running, trying to get basically the next 2 shows. We're going to do a month of email sign-ups and just getting the word out there. And then after that, I guess we're doing 60 days actually. So we're doing 3 months of the next 3 months of Tropical Magic Kickstarter. We got an exclusive cover. Yeah. We're doing the Art T Bear cover as well, but this is the Kickstarter exclusive cover. And I've got my copy of the original cover right here. Let me pull this bitch out. Oh, thank you, Pops. Oh, thank you. Here we go. So this is the Indiegogo exclusive cover. This never gets printed again. This will literally never see the light of day ever again. So for those of you that got the Indiegogo piece, thank you very much. We absolutely appreciate it. Here's a little smooch to you. Here's the Art T Bear cover. We are doing another run of this just for the Indiegogo, but this is Art T Bear on the inks, if I remember correctly. Pedro, you're on the pencils.
Yeah,
and,
pencils. And Oliver Arthur.
Yeah. So if you want this right here, the Art T Bear variant, your very last chance, unless you find it on eBay, will be in this Kickstarter that we are about to launch right this second, or at least the pre-launch element. So your next 3 months, pretty much, or next 2 months will be the only shot you'll have to pick up these last exclusives. So, all right. So I'm gonna hit I'm ready to launch. Pops, if you want to pull that. Pops got his. Beautiful. Let me add to stream. Okay, gang. So we will hit this button and then get the hell up out.
Yeah.
All right. So we got 60 days, but we set the goal to $1,000. We felt that should be pretty doable, and we
drop the link.
Hopefully hit
drop
that.
the link over there.
Yeah.
Drop the link in the chat so I can get that.
Yep. Thank you, Pops. Drum roll. It's saying drum roll. This is my first Kickstarter, or our first Kickstarter. Hey. Woo!
Project is live. So do we have we launched the project? This is no sign up. We're in the money now, dude. We better get to work.
Yeah.
There's no sign up here. Yeah.
Here we go.
That was a fake live on air. But, okay. All right. So now the campaign is live, everybody. I guess we're not doing a monthly pre-launch, but all right. So the campaign is live. Let me drop the link. Hang on. How do I?
Let's do it.
60 days from now, I'll see if I can.
You mad lad.
Yeah. All right. My bad.
Hey, no problem, man. No problem. Let's get to work, man. Let's get to work.
Yeah.
Drop the link and
all right.
Get the hell out. No.
All right, Pops. Okay. But all right. So I did drop the link in the private chat. Here's I'll just drop it right. I don't know if I'm an admin on mine. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Yeah. All right, sweet. There we go, gang. If y'all want to hit that, I guess it's not a pre-launch sign. Consider backing today. We were live, so all right. All right, everybody. So thank you for watching this episode of the Ginge Pedro Show. And stay tuned for the CG Horror Club. And Mike, thank you, brother, for hanging out.
I appreciate it.
Peace.